Hello, I'm Callum. I was one of the people who wrote the Investigate Broughty Ferries activity, and today we're going to be talking a bit about how it works, a little bit about how to play it, but focusing mainly on how it works in a classroom setting. So, as you may or may not already know, Investigate Broughty Ferries is suitable for ages 11 to 16, so in school years S1 to S4. It focuses on topics of cybersecurity and OSINT, or open source intelligence, and it requires no prior experience from you or from the learners. So it's really quite accessible. So to get started with it, first we're going to go to cyberskillslesson.com. And once we're on this page, we're going to scroll down looking for use open source intelligence to investigate Broughty Ferries. We're going to click on start the lesson and start the lesson again. And when it comes up, it's going to ask us for our name and our school. So I'm going to type my name, Callum, and I'm going to select my school, which will be Broughty for this, but your learners will be different. And let's get started. So as previously mentioned, we're going to use open source intelligence, and we're going to use it to investigate this relationship between this company called Broughty Ferries, who are a ferry company, and this criminal called Mike Dane. So let's really get into it. So here we're introducing our boss. This is Robin, and she's telling us how she received a secure message with a tip-off that we're going to have to go and investigate. So there's a bit of background here to learn about what open source intelligence is. So you might already cover this prior in your presentation, but it's also good to have this kind of directly in front of them. They can read through it. So we'll answer questions to move through this. So which of these activities do you think is part of open source intelligence? I don't think it's the guessing. I don't think it's the hacking. So I think it's watching someone's stories. So here's the tip. And this reframes the scenario that we're kind of going to be looking into. Being told to look into Broughty Ferries. They have a warehouse in Tyree that stores Zondy athletic footwear. Also, Mike Danger was at the rewards dinner. So I think based on this, we've got a lot to investigate. So let's get started. Your learners will choose an avatar. This just personalizes the activity to them. So let's do that for me today. The website is a real thing that exists on the internet. So I've opened it here. It's linked on all the pages, but it's obviously useful to have it open. So there we go. Let's go. Can you find the postcode of the company? Now, as I wrote this, I do know a bit about where to find this, but I didn't see it on the main page. I think scrolling down might help. Normally these things are at the bottom, so I might just go straight to the bottom. And yeah, okay, I can see it here. It's postcode here, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put that in, and that's worked. Okay. On to the next task. How many destinations does Broughty Ferries travel to? Do we know where Broughty Ferries are based? What ferries do they travel to? Okay. I think I saw some destinations on the main page. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5? Oh, it says here, the homepage of the website might not have all the information you need. So try the other pages. Okay, so yeah, this is highlighting one thing that it's really important to read the instructions because they're written in a way that kind of pushes and challenges. So it looks like then we've got 10. 10 destinations. What destination would you like to visit most? So this is there's no right or wrong answer. It's just a question to kind of engage people and get them thinking about the context of Broughty Ferries as a ferry activity. Sorry, the context of Broughty Ferries as a ferry company and the destinations they travel to. Let's put Tyree. Do Broughty Ferries ever sail to Tiree? That was coincidental. And if so, at what time? Mentions a secret warehouse on the Isle of Tiree. Tried to see if Broughty Ferries has any crossings to Tiree. Okay, so I'm looking for ferry crossing times. And I think the timetable is going to be a good place to get that information. A weekly timetable. We're looking for Tiree. We are. So they go at 4:30 in the morning, I think. Let's copy that. And let's put in. Brilliant. What company makes the vessels that Broughty Ferries uses? So I'm going to go find this from the homepage. This one is often a bit tricky. But I think this is hopefully explaining how the Investigate Broughty Ferries activity works, that there are these kind of questions that you have to answer, searching through the main website, and that these questions kind of slowly culminate into a larger thing, which is exposing this alleged fraud between Broughty Ferries and Mike Danger. What is the name of the CEO of Broughty Ferries? Okay, I'm going to go to corporate and about. We're looking for the CEO, Nick Platt. I'll just copy that. Nothing too secret here. You've gathered some interesting intelligence, not to make a link. Have you ever found something on the website you didn't think the company meant to publish? Tell us. So obviously your learners and you might want to give examples for this and might want to give non-Broughty Ferries specific examples, but just, for instance, here's quickly one that we've left into the Broughty Ferries website, which is that each person, it gives their mother's maiden name. And this obviously isn't something you'd want to kind of give out and just have around the place, but it can be a good, kind of easy example for learners if they want to find something. Mother's maiden name on about page. What advice would you give to Broughty Ferries to protect against those in research? Hide this information. But your learners might want to give a different answer, and that's absolutely fine. Any days of the week where the Broughty Ferries office isn't open? Perhaps in the footer, it's going to be. No. Contact. Okay. Opening hours Monday to Friday. So Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday. Send intelligence. Can you find the Twitter account? I'm sure that'll be on the contact page. So yeah, I think you can. We'll just copy that. What payment provider? Now, and I saw that when we're on the previous page, but it's also down the footer here on all the pages. So payment partner, Stripe. Stripe. Great intelligence. Yeah, I'm ready to move on. So this is us having done the kind of first initial stage. This is before we've applied any of the more complex techniques and before we've got to the point where we're finishing the activity. So this is like the first initial bit of research that we're doing. We'll develop the scenario a bit. Let's go deeper. We're going to use a tool called Whois. We've got these questions at the start to make sure that learners understand the context of the scenario. So we're asking which one of these is a domain. And it's not the IP address, nor is it the phone number, nor is it the email address. Then we're using this tool called Whois. So for domains, there's a tool that exists called Whois, where you can query information about a domain, like who it's registered to, what the name servers are, when did they register it, when does it expire. So we've got a version of this tool in the activity. So we're going to type who is, like we see on the left here. We're going to type who is, and then the domain name that we're looking for. So Broughty Ferries.com. And it's going to query all this information. And so now what are we looking for? Find the email address of the technical contact. Tech email, Nick Platt at broadyferries.com. Let's copy that. Oh, we've seen this name before. Who is technical contact? Nick Platt. So there's a blurred image there. And if you remember, we're going to go look at the about page. That blurred image, I think, is Nick Platt, the CEO. So we're going to choose from our options. CEO of Broughty Ferries. Brilliant, right answer. Now we're going to do another who is. Broughty Ferries. This time we're looking for the technical contact address. So there's no field for address, but I guess we should look at the options. So I don't think it's the one in Glasgow because the postcode is PA. The postcode is PA Warehouse 73, which is the street for this one. Okay, so that's us. Let's tell that intelligence. Hang on a minute. Look at this newspaper clipping. And we see there the police raided Warehouse 73. No head of Mike Danger. But Warehouse 73, it does sound familiar. That's where the domain is registered. That's weird that they're in the same place. It's, yeah, showing perhaps that, maybe Mike Danger and Broughty Ferries were working together. If the domain is registered to where they used to have a hideout. That's a bit weird. Let's send that intelligent. Yeah. Okay. And so this is us concluding the second portion of the overall activity. So that second one was focusing on who is and kind of domains, and researching a bit deeper than just what we can find just on the website. So that might be a good point before that or after that to talk about domains and who is, and that information is in the lesson plan. So now we're going to move on to the final section, and this is really the smoking gun of the investigation. This is where we find out some really interesting details. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but we're going to find some really interesting details. So we're going to start investigating the awards dinner. Now, some of us may or may not have realised this, but on the main page, at the very bottom, there is, if we scroll down, an article, Broughty Ferry Company Awards 2021. But this looks deleted. The image makes it seem as such. So this question is asking us, when was the awards dinner? Because also the tip mentioned it, so it's something we should look into. So when was the awards dinner? So I think that looks like the 1st of November. So I'm going to put in, like it asks, 1/11. It's the date of the awards dinner. Got that right, but take a look at the page, okay? Let's take a look. We haven't done that yet. Oh, error 403 was also, you're not allowed to access this page. So we're not allowed to access the awards dinner. That's a bit suspicious, especially if the tip was kind of pointing us towards it. So it doesn't look like we have access. What error code does that return? Well, it returns error 403. So we saw 403. Let's just copy that, so that's easier for us. Okay, so it says the awards dinner isn't publicly available now, which, yeah, it definitely isn't. Yeah, but it might have been in the past. So this next section, we're introducing the learners to this tool called Wayback Machine, and this is a publicly available archive of historical versions of websites. So the Internet Archive, who are this organization, run this tool that goes around taking copies of websites, and then you can look back in time so you can see what, as if the front page of BBC News was like 10 years ago, or 12, or yesterday. And we are going to check and see if this awards page that isn't really available on the surface web was actually stored by the Internet Archive in this Wayback Machine. Maybe we can find it there. So just as a note before we get started, sometimes the Wayback Machine can be a bit temperamental, but there are always links to screenshots of it if it's not working. So first, give it a go, but it might not work. So you can try an alternate message. So a version from the past this is telling us about. So we're going to look and see one of a previous snapshot on the Broughty Ferries website. So let's go and have a look. And that doesn't look like it's loading, so we're going to quickly use, as I mentioned before, really handy screenshot. And this is showing you what the Internet Archive site looks like. So it's got the web page, and this is all scrollable, but then this top banner at the top. And it's saying this is from the 29th of November, 2021. 29th of November. Yeah. So I'll send that. Now, if that's working for you, you can just stay on that web page and scroll all the way down and click through to the awards dinner kind of page. But if that isn't working for you, you can just also use the link. And so let's see what the Internet Archive has cached and has stored for that awards dinner page. So this is a image of Nick Platt, as we've seen before, and Mike Danger. And he's receiving an award for Best Customer. So yeah, it's saying Mike Danger, CEO of Honest Souls Limited, was our Customer of the Year. Well, Mike Danger's a notorious criminal, so that's very interesting and kind of explains why they would want to delete the article. So let's say shows relationship with criminal Mike Danger. Perhaps quite a close one if they're Best Customer of the Year or whatever. So yeah, we found it. Press hold the front page. We've found this image of the Best Customer with Nick Platt and Mike Danger pictured together at the awards dinner. This is, really shocking, and also speaks to us kind of having confirmed the tip is correct. And newspaper mock-up. So our investigative journalist, Callum, from Broughty High School, the school that I've done it from, has found this. It's brilliant. We're just going to through. You can direct your learners to feedback. We'd love them to submit it. So that's brilliant. We've solved that, and hopefully, after watching this and understanding how the XCT works, your learners will also be able to crack the case, investigate the links that exist, and create this headline determining that Mike Danger and Broughty Ferries do have a relationship.